If caring was a commodity, Bruce Newswanger and Tim Portolese would have a corner on the market. From animal rescue to helping folks facing their final journey, when Elkhart reaches out for help, Bruce and Tim never hesitate to say yes.
They have a large impact, and I stand in strong admiration of them. You know, I think people give of their treasure, and you know, Elkhart's blessed with many people capable of doing that. And you know, Tim and Bruce certainly do that, but what they do a better job of, in my opinion, than most, is they give of their time. I don't know where our community would be without people like that are the drivers behind the scenes.
I think one of the things I'm the most proud about Elkhart is the number of leaders that we have that step in to carry the torch for any number of events. And Tim and Bruce do it often and always with big impact. They're part of that web of people that says if we come together and we work together, we can make big differences. And they frequently make big differences.
When you talk about a circle of caring, I think it goes beyond hospice. I think it has to go from cradle to grave, looking at every aspect of life. There is nothing that Tim and Bruce don't touch and don't touch positively.
Tim and Kurt Janowski and I were working on a CAPS fundraiser together. It might have been one of the first big fundraisers I ever worked on. Tim and I just hit it off right from the get-go. I mean, I kind of feel like we really have a brother-sister relationship because I'm usually yelling at him for something, telling him what to do.
It's like they have a passion, a light inside of them that they're called to serve. You know, Tim serves in philanthropy, and Bruce serving as a doctor. The mission of the Center for Hospice Care being to improve the quality of living. Tim and Bruce live that in everything they do. They model that.
Does anyone know, is and Bruce Tim's last name? It seems like it's just Tim and Bruce. You know, nobody ever uses last names. It's never Bruce and Tim. It's Tim and Bruce. And no, they've just been so generous.
Tim is a go-getter. He has been through his health issues. We have been blessed to have such support from the community, and it's such an honor to be recognized for this, that it goes way beyond what we would expect.
My first memory of Tim and Bruce is seeing them across the room at one of the wonderful charity functions we have in our community that are terrific, and seeing them with friends that I knew, and they were having a great time. I saw them at more and more of those events and realized that they were just part of the fabric of Elkhart that was trying to make a difference, and that led to, as it is often with friends of friends, they became friends of mine.
There isn't anybody better to raise money than Tim. Certainly with the support from Bruce, because God love Bruce, I think he just goes with it. I have had the good fortune of being with him trying to raise money, and it is amazing. He doesn't stop. He really doesn't take no for an answer.
Hospice serves everyone regardless of ability to pay. Tim is instrumental in that.
They're getting a Circle of Caring award, and I can speak from the heart on that because I have seen both Bruce and Tim demonstrate their caring. About 6 years ago, my husband became sick with brain cancer, and many people know that Tim has been fighting brain cancer for a long period of time. He took the time to call me early on in that diagnosis and came and spent a long period of time opening up his heart about his journey, which was not easy, and making a big, huge impact on me at a time when I was trying to find my way on that path. The beauty of it was that he gave me, instilled in me, a strong sense of courage and a very strong sense of calm, and then felt his compassion. Well, those are what hospice stands for.
What makes Tim and Bruce unique is they give of their treasure, but more importantly, they give of their time. And I really admire that, to carve out the time, and they're so passionate when they get involved in something. And I think they're unique that way in how they round out our community. And you know, Tim's courage and fighting through what he's fighting through on an everyday battle, I think is an inspiration to all of us. They contribute in a very, very broad scope, and I think a lot of people don't realize how much they're behind, and boy, when they get on something, they're very passionate about it.
Tim makes pasta, homemade pasta for Scott. I can't even tell you how often that happens. Really, most of what we do is always spur of the moment.
One of the most generous things that Tim does for us is when he can't sleep at night, he stays up and he makes cavatelli. He's endeared his way into our hearts that way.
Tim and Bruce are so involved in the community. You know, they are involved with county commissioners at their house frequently and advocating on behalf of not only animals, but you know, all of the different things in the community. And their idea of being on the board of directors and really being supportive of the Humane Society is around getting pets for other people.
Many people don't know, Bruce grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania as the son of a conservative Mennonite dairy farmer. Moved to this area to go to Goshen College and realized there was more to life than being a dairy farmer. So his love of the medical world, he actually interned at the age of 10 years old being a vet tech. He delivered a cow at the age of 10. Took him from Goshen College to Michigan State University to become a physician. He came back to Elkhart. He considers Elkhart County home. His life kind of parallels mine in the fact that we both help people live. Bruce is in the emergency room sometimes, I think, 120 hours a week. There are days he's there 12, 13, 14 hours. Everybody goes to him to continue living.
Bruce is kind of like our little angel who appears at the hospital when we need him the most. Our son fell off a golf cart. He had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance, and as only God would have it, the attending physician in the ER was Bruce. It was a comfort to me and to our family. And furthermore, my mother had dementia for 6.5 years and recently passed, and I can't tell you how many times we were in the Elkhart ER, and Bruce was the attending physician as well. It's like having an extension of the family there.
The story of Center for Hospice Care really parallels my own life. As a 5-time brain cancer survivor and now a throat cancer patient, I've learned that going through a process is only a process. You keep living, you keep going. Every day is a new adventure, and that's why Center for Hospice Care is so dear to me, because they're trying to educate the rest of Michiana to those same ideals and goals.
What they've done for hospice has been absolutely amazing, but it doesn't stop with just hospice. It starts there and it goes to every single organization, every single aspect of Elkhart County that they touch it and they leave a great, great mark.
Well, I was the person who asked him if they'd receive it. And he actually turned to me, he said, no, you know, he really didn't want it. He doesn't seek recognition, but he just looked at me and he said, you're asking me, I have to say yes.
Their legacy is the good that you see around this community that we all bind together and share. And they're part of that fabric, and that fabric will hold together and only grow stronger.
I think their legacy would be caring, passion.
When they put their name to something, no matter what it is, they are back. They're behind it 100%. And that enthusiasm is contagious for other people. When they see Tim and Bruce are behind something, I mean, that's huge.
Simply put, Elkhart wouldn't be what it is without the impact that Tim and Bruce have had on Elkhart.
Community service, I think, is a person's obligation to provide for those who may not have what we experience and make it better for everybody.
Living in that Italian close-knit community, what they did for each other. I guess one of the things my Nona, if she was 5 foot tall, she would pull me down, and in her Calabrese dialect, she'd always say, "Ti voglio bene assai, non dimenticare e vivere," which translates into "I love you very much, and never forget to live." And that has lived through my life. It's where I get my strength.
Bruce Newswanger and Tim Portolese, the inaugural Center for Hospice Care Circle of Caring honorees.